What's going on, everybody? What's up? It's your boy Mark of Mindful Reality here to talk to you guys about the most recent episode of Big Brother Canada season 11. And we are live. So before I start, please make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to get notified of whenever I go live or whenever I drop new content for this page. Thank y'all for being here. I know that I dropped my rant yesterday saying that, um, hey, Retro, I don't know if you're working. I don't know if you're free. Do you want to hop on? Let me know. If you want to hop on, let me know. But, anyways, in some of the most unsurprising news, oh, you're at work now. That's okay. In some of the most unsurprising news, Ty wins another power veto. And I think that this is his sixth. And I think that they have said that it is a record. I found this episode to be really funny because now we have Claudia and Renee trying to make a final three with Ty. And then we also have Daniel and Anika trying to make a final three with Ty. And the reason that I find that funny is because ain't none of them was working with him. All of them, I can't really think of if Daniel wanted him out, but I definitely know Anika, Renee, um, and Claudia, at some point, they all wanted him out. So they're working with him by default because he keeps winning the power vetoes. I think they just reached a point when they got to the final five where they were like, he's probably going to win the power veto. So let's talk to him and make an alliance with him in hopes that that means that he will work in our favor. And in Anika's case, what she wanted him to do after he won the power veto, because everybody just knew that he was going to win this power veto, she wanted him to keep the noms the same so that one of either Claudia or Renee would go home. And Ty promised Anika that he would keep the noms the same. Ty also told Renee and Claudia that's his preferential final three. And I think that Wednesday's episode showed that he was true to his word and that he definitely would rather work with Claudia and Renee. My thing with him, I know that he's kind of on Ty Island and he doesn't really trust any of them. He probably trusts Claudia a little bit more than he trusts the rest because of their showmance. But the thing is, Claudia and Renee have both taken shots at him. And imagine if they got into the final three. I don't necessarily think that he could depend on Claudia to take him to final two if that was the case, because she would have a much better chance of winning against Renee. That's the honest truth. So, um, it's one thing working together to a final three, but it's another thing being able to trust that person to take you to final two. That's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. If Ty doesn't win, I will be mad. Yeah, and it's so funny because the season that I watched where Kevin won that season, which was season 5, I almost found it to be a little bit similar to this. I mean, he didn't win as much as Ty, but he played a game that really depended on him winning. And especially in the latter half of the game, he had to come up with all these wins because people were trying to get him out. Ty, I crack up at the way how he walks around this house because he's like, none of y'all are for me. You just can't get me out. You just can't get me out because I win. Every time you put me up, I win. Every time there's a power of veto and you want to backdoor me, you can't because I keep winning. And now Yeah, now they're in a place where they're like, wow, Ty is still here and Ty wins so much that we have to try to work with him because he's the swing vote always. He was by himself. Yeah. So all that matters coming up. And as we see, Ty is Mr. Veto. Ty is Mr. Veto. The selections don't matter at this stage of the game. The veto matters the most. And he has been winning. I mean, it does only take one loss. But I understand why he would lean towards Renee and Claudia anyways, because okay, Anika won this 17-second HOH, but she's still not a big threat to win an HOH. Daniel has come in second on quite a few, or like a few HOHs, and also I think he won one POV, but still, Claudia is I think the biggest threat aside from Ty to win. And I think that it's a smarter choice to go with the group that is more likely to win this upcoming week. That's just my thought on that. Yeah, I wouldn't bet money on Anika winning again. I wouldn't bet money on Anika winning again. That was the lamest. I was cracking up at how the announcer called it epic, as a joke. He was like, Anika won the epic HOH competition in 17 seconds. Yeah, so this is the Ty show, the Ty award, the Ty veto. For whatever reason, though, he doesn't do that great in the HOHs. I think he won one HOH, but the POVs, he's definitely the king of the POVs. It's the power of Ty going on. So right now, Ty admitted to Anika, like, hey, I lied to you when I said that if I win the POV, that I would not use it. So she's really upset and she's crying. She's like, don't make me put Daniel on the block. So he uses the POV on Claudia as expected. I think production wanted to make us interested in the episode. So they tried to make it look like he might not do the obvious. But for me, it was pretty obvious that he was going to take his girl Claudia off the block. So because there was only one more option, Claudia is now replaced by Daniel. Now, the one thing that we don't really know at this stage is Ty gonna go for voting out Renee or voting out Daniel? Because initially it was a locked in for sure thing. It was a locked in for sure thing that he was gonna take out Daniel and he was gonna keep Renee. And then Renee had a conversation with Anika. And in this conversation, Renee was basically telling Anika, like, do you want to be left with Claudia and Ty? She didn't say the word showmance, but she was alluding to that. She was alluding to, do you want these two here at the end with you? And Anika had already had thoughts about that. But Anika, because everybody is scared of Ty, and I guess rightfully so, she went to Ty with this information that Renee gave her and was like, oh, Renee said to me, do you want to be left here with the showmance? This makes Big Bad Ty get really upset and angry. And then Ty speaks to Renee about it privately. And then Renee sort of admits to it. And then in Ty fashion, he's like, let's get all of us in the room to clear the air. That's what he likes doing, getting all of them in there to clear the air. So Renee did something really smart, which was to be like, did I actually tell you showmance? Did I say the word showmance? So that kind of made Renee, that kind of made Anika look bad, because Anika was like, oh, I apologize. You didn't actually say showmance, but you alluded to that. That's what she meant. But Renee was like, you're putting words into my mouth. And then we have Ty saying, like, originally I thought that Anika was so trustworthy and I built up trust with her, but now I feel like in this situation, I trust Renee more. I trust what Renee said. So because Daniel and Renee are on the block, the two votes are Claudia and Ty, which presumably are going to be voting together. So they have the power to choose whether it's Renee or whether it's Daniel, or they could split the vote, but more likely they would not. I don't think they would want to put the power in Anika's hands because A, they don't know what Anika's going to do, and B, that's something on Anika's resume. I mean, even though it would be on her resume if she was able to make the choice, is what I'm trying to say. So I assume that Ty and Claudia are going to get on the same page. Ty has basically most of the power in his hands, I would say, because I think Claudia is going to vote however Ty wants her to vote. So I think most likely that Renee is going to stay and they're going to vote out Daniel. That could change. I don't watch digital dailies. Again, there's no live feeds, so this is just a guess on my part. But I think that they would rather keep Renee because Daniel is against them. I mean, Daniel's not with them. I shouldn't say Daniel's against them, but Daniel's not with them. Daniel is with Anika. So the thing is, if you get out Daniel, Anika is now on Anika Island. So unless she wins the next week, she's definitely, no matter who it is, she's definitely going to be the one going on the block. And then, like Retro is saying, depending on the power of veto, is basically going to be who is sitting up there next to her, and then the person who has the voting power gets the vote, and that's it for that. So it'll be a little bit interesting to see who ends up going home. But like I said, I believe that Daniel is going home. I like Daniel, Daniel seems to know the game really well. He's a super fan, but the thing is, he's not winning. So that's the reason why even all his strategizing is like, okay, you're good with the strategies, you're good with picking up on who's working together, and you're good with all this stuff, but you're not winning. You have to win. You have to win something to have control over your destiny. So finally, not winning has caught up with him, and not being in power to make those choices has caught up to him. Yeah, that's funny, right? There's only one super fan in the game, and John Martin John Martin was the other super fan. John Michael, I know he's John Michael, but Zach kept calling him John Martin. He's the other super fan, and he got out early because people were like, they were more scared of him being a threat. People are less scared of Daniel being a threat because of the fact that Daniel's not winning. And I think Daniel kind of downplays his super fandom. I don't know if he's told anyone he's a super fan, but at least from what we're seeing in the edits, oh my God, that guy was so narcissistic. It wasn't even funny. He kept saying that he'll do what I want because he's in love with me. He's in love with me. He's in love with me. Guess what? He's still in the game. Final 5. You self-evicted, man. So he played the game. He played the game better than you at the end of the day. At least by being able to downplay his super fandom. I don't think anyone thinks he's a comp threat, but even just being a super fan, that automatically makes you a threat. It was funny. I was watching the dang, I wish I could remember I feel bad for not being able to remember the name. Royalty. If you guys have not watched the Royalty podcast. It's like a podcast with Hannah, Big D, and Tiffany from the cookout of BB23, and they talk about they talk about Survivor. They do like a reality rundown, Survivor, the challenge. They talk about BB Can, and they were talking about this season of BB Can. Yeah, it's good. It's funny. It's funny as ever. I had a point. I did have a point. I lost the point. Oh yeah, they were. Well, actually, this was kind of something they were talking about with Survivor. There's a guy on Survivor, Carson, and I was saying like Carson reminds me of Hannah because it's like he's super smart. He's a super fan of Survivor, which I'm planning to do a live about the Survivor episode. I might just save it for that, but Hannah was also able to fly under the radar somehow. I mean, I know being in the cookout aided her, but the thing is, I would be like, she's so smart. She knows the game so well. I'm scared of having her here in this game. I love Carson. Carolyn is my favorite. She's hilarious. She's hilarious. I'm gonna hop on I'm gonna make a separate video in a few minutes for Survivor. But anyways, I'm going for Ty. When I did my prediction video before this BB Can season, I actually picked Ty to finish in second. I'm hoping that he finishes in first because frankly, I just don't feel like anyone there has earned it. I don't feel like anyone else there has really earned that right to be the BB Can winner. And I actually felt him when he said, if I don't win, I want another person up there that I can be proud of. And as I think of all the people remaining, I'm kind of like, what have you really done? What have you really done this season to make me root for you like that? All the people that I was rooting for are no longer in the house. So that's where we're at. Yeah, me neither. Me neither, especially after his first couple 2 to 3 weeks. But anyways, y'all, thanks for tuning in. We are off alive right now. I'm going to hop on a different video to talk a little bit about Survivor. And then hopefully I'll be able to be back tonight to recap the BB Can 11 eviction night. And I'll talk to y'all very shortly.